Texans fans, we came out losers this game. Offensively, we got our butts kicked. Defensively, we had some shine. We'll talk about the game. We'll do a quick game recap in this episode of Sports Social Live. Let's get it. So we came in slow. This game was nothing but inconsistency on the offensive side of the ball. When you have a ragtag defense with 5 starters out, you would think your offense would get something going, but we didn't. The Texans started off slow and they finished slow in the pass game for sure. The Texans' offensive line definitely showed that they are not ready for long elongated plays. The Texans, Bobby Slowick has to figure it out. I don't think he can continue to be cute when he's calling plays. We just have to get on the teams quickly when it comes to offensive side of the ball. Going into the Packers showed tenacity, they showed grit, and Jordan Love was a gamer out there. He plays like Brett Favre. He's gonna sling that ball out there. Either it's going to be good, a home run, or it's going to be potential catastrophe. But he balled out, throughout the game. And I wasn't mad about what he did, but I wouldn't want that on my team. So the Texans came out the first half. You had a big drop by Dell in the back of the end zone. You got to catch those passes. Dell did not have a good game. I see they tried to get him started a little bit later on in the game with a punt return, but nothing came of that. I think he got like 13 yards. So something came of it, but it wasn't the best. And then we move over to the defensive side of the ball as the first half is going. You had Neville Hewitt with a crazy suplex out there. That was something to see. I don't an unnecessary penalty, but it was crazy. Then we had Tim Settle was balling on the defense the whole game. He said he was going to do it, and I like players like that. They say they're going to do something, and they do it. So I'm okay with how the defense, Settle, Hewitt, Hanson, Stingley, Bullock, I'm okay with how the defense balled out that game. And then Mixon started having a hell of a game, and we'll talk about Mixon a little bit later. Going down, the O-line just showed that they are not good pass blockers. It's 4:00 in the morning. I feel like I can block better than these guys. And yes, 4:00 in the morning. I am a global Texans fan, the only one that's probably posting at 4. I stayed up. I've done it deployed. I've done it all over the world. I'm going to keep on standing on that. I am the most devout Texans fan. So let's go back to it. The tight ends have to do better. And then as the game went on, you saw the tight ends gave up. The tight ends gave up about 3 to 4 pressures and 2 massive sacks to get the Texans off the field early. Past that, the game management in the first half was one of those things that I questioned because the game management, D'Amico should have made a call, a couple of timeouts. I believe you could have called, then possibly thrown a challenge flag in. Although I think the ball went slightly forward, he could have challenged that play in the second quarter, in the mid to late part of the second quarter. And back to the tight ends, they just have to do better. Jordan Love was doing what he was going to doing, but you saw that the special teams in this game was actually solid. With Woods out, they were actually solid, and I was not mad at how the special teams played. The pressures, the kicking team. Kaimi Fairbairn had one slight mistake, but I get it. He was trying to coffin kick down in the corner. I'm not mad at that one. But one of the biggest things about the defense that I have seen is that Eric Murray was getting his butt handed to him the entire game. They were lining him up one-on-one. It's kind of embarrassing. It's one of those ones where, hey, throw him the ball, let him shoot type deals because they were doing that. But then, Bullock was balling in the first half. Going on to the second half, the Texans still couldn't pass the ball, still couldn't block to save their life. It was crazy. And I just had I don't know what to do. Watching the game was frustrating. You saw it on CJ Stroud. But the second half, we did start off with a nice Will Anderson Jr. sack, and that was nice. Offense just stalling, special teams balling, defense played to the best of their abilities when with 5 starters out. Can't be mad at that. And then Hunter is going. They were going crazy. They were doing the best they can in the front seven. I'm okay with how the defensive front seven played, and actually okay with the DBs because you can't do much when you're on the field the entire time. But let's talk about it a little bit more. The Texans' offensive struggles. The O line. Is trash. This game was trash when they tried to pass it specifically. On the run game, I'm not mad, but Joe Mixon really just couldn't do things. He had to work magic in the backfield. Before he got back to the line, he pretty much had to do 50 jump starts. He had to do 50 just gymnastics. He had to go crazy out there before he even got to the line of scrimmage. And that's just not what I want to see from a running back. And the offensive line has to be embarrassed about that play, especially with the momentum that they gave up to the team. And that leads me to talk about Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick has to just improve, man. You got to realize what you have. You are not going to go far with the line that we have. So utilize them to the best of their ability, do quick hitting plays, and then you can maybe work one or two of those cute plays that you like to run. I'm tired of the cute stuff, the long developing plays. I believe the commentators spoke on that. The long developing plays are not in our favor. Texans have to do better. You have to run plays or just get on linebackers fast. We don't have the O-line personnel to even play around with our offensive play calls. We don't. Run the ball, pass the ball. All the cute play action stuff is not going to work for the Texans. Stop it, Bobby Slowick. Just stop it. But the positive note that we had is Mixon. Mixon came out with 25 carries for 115 and two touchdowns. But he was balling. They tried to get him the ball in every type of way, but the offensive line just did not do him any favors. You have to like the tenacity that Joe Mixon has when he is on the field and when he's running that ball. He's toting that pill, it gets real. And I like what's going on with him, how he was firing up the team on the sideline. Too bad he couldn't fire him up the pass block, but he was firing up the team on the sideline. Joe Mixon is going to get us to a championship if we keep on playing. If we play with that tenacity, we have to get the offensive line to play with that tenacity and grit. If they don't have it, Bobby Slowick, get them off the line, put their hand in the dirt, get them rolling. Because it's up to you. Tight ends have to get on the same page as well. The next man up, we even put 3 tight ends, and the Packers still got through our line. If I'm the Packers, I would have ran a 6-man pressure every time until you stopped me. And the Texans surely could not. We had a couple of plays, a little bit of success, but we did not do near as much. And even if we had Nico, I don't see us being successful in this type of game because the offensive line just can't block worth a damn. And it was shown, it was evident, it was trash. One of the most trash offensive line performances in the past game. We were down. I believe, at one point, everything came from the run game, and it still wasn't a lot. It's like 173 total yards and 73 or something like 123, and then I think it was 70 or 80 yards were rushing. Just no pass. Just it was bad. And then you didn't get the ball to Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs. You couldn't do that. It just was not good. But back to the defensive side of the ball, the defense, Hewitt, Hanson, Settle, Fudakasi. Hey, that front seven, Will Anderson Jr., Hunter, balled out. The defense's front seven balled out. I'm okay with how they played, given how long they were on the field. Some bad penalties here and there, but they played well. I love the Hewitt suplex. It was bad timing, but it was stupid timing, not to even say bad. But you got to give Hewitt the tenacity. He had a hell of a game. Hanson had a hell of a game. Only imagine if Alshire was there, Tua was there, that sideline to sideline running ability, the half step that these guys have, it would have been crazy, man. It'd have been crazy. Then you got on the back end, Stingley, Bullock playing well. I'm not mad at how the safeties played. I mean, was getting our corners were getting a little. One corner in specific was getting a little worked, but I'm not mad at how they played the entire game. It was a decent game. I mean, CJ came out. Uh, C, CJ came out. CJ has a couple of a little bit of success during the game. Let's talk about some stats. CJ Stroud was 10 for 21, 86 yards, zero passing touchdowns. Terrible, terrible. But the stats don't tell that he was running for his life on his backside. He literally ran probably the most he's ran in a game with 5 rushes for 19 yards. Terrible performance by the offensive line. And the play calling was not good for him to be successful in the pass calling. The QB battle, I have to give the QB battle to the QB battle. I mean, both of them did not play the best, but the QB battle has to go to Jordan Love. I mean, Jordan Love played a better game because of his system. His schematically, he played a better game. You can see that in the scheme. They put him in places to be successful. If Stroud had the time that Love had, Stroud would have probably been more successful. But given what he was, but given the lay of the land, I have to give the props to Jordan Love for coming out with the victory. Definitely not stat worthy, but Jordan Love was 24 for 33, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Terrible ratio, but at least he had 3 touchdowns. And I think that's going to be a story of him. He's like a taller version, more athletic version of Brett Favre. And it's a fun football to watch. I'm not mad at it. So shout out to Jordan Love for winning that QB battle. And it was kind of like one of those games where you had to watch what was going on. Um, and CJ just did not he was not able to ball out. I'm really tired of watching our offense not be successful when you have weapons. Even if Nico was there, the pass game would not be successful. So how can we improve on that? I don't know. But hey, the pregame betting odds. Before I get out of here, let's talk about the betting odds. Let's talk about the betting odds. Hey, the Texans it was the under. I think we hit the under, man. So I'm cool with that. The under hit, and I thought the Texans would cover the spread. Looks like we did cover the spread. So Texans covering the spread and the under hit. You made some money with Sports Social Live. I'm Lance Hayes. This is our Sports Social Live quick hit recap. Follow, like, subscribe at Sports Social TV, at Sports Social Live on YouTube. Salute. Big, big, big.